Well, hello everyone, this is ICBs here, and today we're talking about the remake of Tangled that's been delayed. I didn't even knew that Disney was cooking this, and I am glad I do now because Disney has delayed it. For how long, we don't know, but what we can assess is that Disney is doing some strong self reflection right now. And you might be asking, well, I didn't knew that Disney was making a live action remake of this thing. Well, you might be right, because this is very early in stages. But Disney, after seeing what a fantastic disaster that was Snow White, halted production of this movie. And boy oh boy, we did it. We finally showed Disney that Disney can't do any lazy movies and just simply get away with it. And as this article by Screen Rant says, Disney's Tangled delay is a good thing because it implies that the company is not going to ignore the uproar caused by the Snow White, and very evidently so. Now, honestly, we really don't know what Disney was going to cook with the Tangled movie, and honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and say that Tangled is one of my favorite movies out of all Disney movies so far. I watched it when I was, at the right, early teen years. And I absolutely loved that movie. And before that, I used to think that Disney and Barbie movies were all about princesses. And usually they are, considering the earlier Disney movies. But whenever I watched Tangled, I was just blown away because not only did that movie had a really strong story for the female protagonist, it also didn't ignore the existence of the male protagonist, and me as a young boy watching that absolutely loved it. I fell in love with the character of Flynn Rider. I thought he was the coolest, and yeah, like this movie has definitely become one of my favorite movies of all time with its animations and its songs. It's such a good movie that's very close to my heart, and I would not want to see this movie get butchered. And I guess I kind of understand those people who grew up watching Disney movies and they just see Disney butchering these movies on the altar of remakes. I guess I kind of feel that dread now. I think some of the earlier remakes that Disney made was actually really good. For example, Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton was actually a really good movie because they took the idea of the original story that was very simple, for it was made for children, and Disney took that and it made it into something more complex, something more, and I hate to use the word blockbuster worthy, but Disney was able to successfully do that. Now, was Alice in Wonderland a successful, most perfect movie ever? No, but it was definitely something unique. It had its own unique voice. Whereas if you see some of the newer remakes, you will find the remake like The Lion King, it's awful. It's just a remake where you have shot for shot copy of the original, but it's real life, which doesn't really make sense because the whole movie I think was made in Unreal Engine 5, so it's technically still animated, but it's more realistic. Does that make it better? No, it was just a really soulless remake, but people still went out and watched it, even though I do believe that it was a really bad movie. I guess people just ran out of good movies to watch in theaters, so they just watched the Lion King remake. I can recall some other movies as well. For instance, Snow White and the Huntsman was also a really good adaptation of the Snow White movie, where they took something that was very simplistic in nature, they turned that into something more complex, something that the older audiences can also enjoy. Another movie that I also really loved watching as a kid was called Mirror Mirror. It is also based on the Snow White story and it's really good. It's a really good action and adventure, but above all, that movie will make you laugh really hard. I really loved watching that movie as a kid, and I don't know if that movie is really good right now, if it holds up or not, but I watched it a while ago. I really enjoyed it, and if you by some chance watch this remake of Snow White, I feel really sorry for you, and I think you should watch Mirror Mirror, which is a really good movie. So go ahead and watch something that will actually make you feel some joy in your dead heart. Another movie that I really enjoyed watching as a kid was Jack the Giant Slayer. I know that that movie might not have received really well, but just taking a kid's story and adapting it for older audiences and turning that very simple story for adult audiences was a good thing. It had its own unique voice. It wasn't a shot for shot remake of the original, which was again a very, kid friendly story. They turned that into something, again, I hate to use the word blockbuster worthy. And was that movie perfect? No, but it still had some entertainment value to it because again, it was unique. Now, this article by Screen Rant also gives us some upcoming remakes that's going to be coming from Disney, and we can see that Rapunzel is not listed here, which is a good thing because it feels like it's a very far ahead in the future kind of a movie. So Disney can probably course correct that movie, but for the movies that are going to be coming out very soon, probably not good expectations with those ones, but I guess Disney will course correct some things. By the way, if for some reason you're wondering about the thumbnail of this video, that thumbnail is AI generated, just to be clear. That is not a real actress or anything like that. So I just wanted to keep some transparency there. So yeah, it does look very realistic and it's really easy to fool people. But yeah, I just wanted to be very clear with you guys that it was in fact an AI generated image. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, it's time for a goodbye.